I have some feedback. Where's Emrakul? Look at this perfect mana base. Look at this perfect mana base. Spoilers, every hand with turn 1 Birds of Paradise has perfect mana. Is there a mana base problem in Modern that Birds of Paradise can't fix? The answer is yes, Eldrazi. Bolt your thing, play my Tarmogoyf. I didn't restart Moto. We'll do that after this match. Good reminder, good reminder. Wow, that actually isn't very good in this matchup. I was about to get excited, and then I was like, wait, that's bad. That's not very good. Almost had a moment of ooh. Almost had a moment of ooh. Smush. Not if they have Amulet, right? Are we going to Disney? Christy and I are actually planning to move in the spring to just another place in the same area. Like this house that we bought, or this house that we bought right now is very much a starter home. It has a lot of let's say issues with it that we didn't realize we didn't want to deal with when we bought it 4 years ago. So everything, basically all the extra money from the stuff I'm making between now and then is going into money towards the new house in the spring. I think I'm supposed to just plus on this because I want to lock them out of having Titan next turn, I think. So Thalia can potentially buy us a little bit of time next turn, right? Because she'll make their Titan come into play tapped, which is nice. I think I'm just going to continue upticking Ajani here. Really wanted to draw a land. I think I'm going to be greedy here and try and hit a land, just so we can pressure them better. And if we miss, I do get to Tarmogoyf them, which is nice. That's a Blood Moon. Well, that's pretty decent. Is that good in this matchup? What do we think? Ajani plus Thalia Heretic Cathar is kind of a combo. Did I forget to use my Ajani? I totally forgot to activate my Ajani. Did I not update the deck tracker? Deck tracker is updated. Welcome to Thunderdome. Alright, 5 matches of decks that can't beat Blood Moon, please. Alright, so I'm going to trim these. We actually don't really have cards in our sideboard for this matchup. I've got these Damping Spheres and this Crumble, I guess. I guess that's fine. It's like 3 pieces of relevant interaction. I guess Abrade is pretty reasonable. It's not reach, but it kills Amulet and it kills their thing. Okay, let's try this. Crumble's fine just because it stone rains them. And actually, once we put Blood Moon into play, crumbling their basic forest is actually pretty... Wait, this only does non-basics, doesn't it? Oh. That's probably still fine. I think it's better than a bolt. I think this is keepable. It's like turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. They could have a quick start. This no longer has text. Alright, need a Blood Moon or a Damping Sphere, chat. Need a Blood Moon or a Damping Sphere ASAP. Is there not a base? There is a basic mountain in this deck. I was like, I don't remember if there was a basic mountain. We could be dead here. We could be getting Titaned this turn. Ooh, that's not a Titan. I guess they could have an Azusa. They could go Azusa Titan. This is getting a bounce land, yep. Alright, well, we need to hit a Blood Moon or a Damping Sphere on our draw step, or... Huh. Ajani actually prevents them from casting Titan next turn, right? Chat. Amulet of Vigor. Whenever a permanent enters the battlefield tapped under your control, untap it. It doesn't prevent shit from Titan. Oh no, Waffle got friendly fired. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to Ajani because it gives me more draws at stuff. I think I'm just supposed to Ajani here. I could like Bloodbraid and hope to get lucky, but if I Ajani and they don't have Azusa plus Titan, then I get another draw step in addition to Bloodbraid next turn, which I think is valuable. We could get Titan this turn still. I think this gamble is worthwhile. Yeah, there's the Azusa. So if they have a Titan here, we are dead. So again, for people that aren't familiar with the Amulet deck, Amulet of Vigor is a trigger that stacks. So when you have double amulets in play, your bounce lands are essentially rituals. Oh, Magic, how I have missed you. Celtic, thank you for the 4-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And casting Bloodbraid Elf wouldn't have done any better, so... I definitely think it's right to play the Ajani Vengeant there, even though it gives my opponents outs to do what they just did. Remember, just because you make the correct percentage play doesn't mean you're going to win every time. I conceded because we were dead. They attack us with a 10-6 double striking Titan. So when they have double amulet out, they get to make a 10-6 double striker when they attack. Do I keep this? No, I need to draw like exactly red source for this to be good, since Noble Hierarch doesn't make red mana. This is another mulligan. I think if that hand had a Stomping Ground or a fetch land, I'd have kept it, because then I could just draw any land. But needing to draw specifically a red source, I think made that hand not good enough. Nope. Guess I'll keep that. Thalia does not stop Titan for a turn, chat. Read Amulet of Vigor. Read Amulet of Vigor. Read the card that their deck is named after. I know it's not like the interaction that you're used to seeing there, but like, no, I topped the bird because paying 1 mana for my land on 2 was better than potentially missing. I agree. And honestly, that's one of the things that separates good Magic players from mediocre Magic players in my experience. And this is what, when people talk about format specialists, I think it's easy to show why these people that are format specialists often aren't good Magic players. A lot of Magic players that aren't particularly good at the game, they just have played enough Magic that they memorize play patterns. They're not actually familiar with identifying new interactions and seeing cards used in manners that are outside the way you normally see them. So it's really easy to look at, you know, Amulet Titan and go, we always play Amulet and it untaps lands, as opposed to the, you know, it's untapping Primeval Titan because it came into play off of the Thalia. Yeah, we're super dead. We mulliganed to 5 and didn't have lands or interaction, so them's the beats. Which is sad, because that's probably an okay matchup for us. It's probably an okay matchup. We've got Blood Moons and Damping Spheres. I'm ghosting. The Azusa dying really didn't matter, chat. If they didn't need the Azusa to play a Titan. Any bounce land, let them play the Titan. Yeah, I'm undefeated in limited events today. We should go back to playing limited, right? Limited's got that one of them skill-based formats. This format, this horseshit constructed modern, it's all variants. I'm 3-0 in Vintage Cube. That's a skill-based format, unlike this one. All right, I want to give you a piece of advice, chat. When your opponent suspends Search for Tomorrow on one, I forgot to restart Moto. Take your lightning bolts and send them upstairs. You don't keep the cards you draft in Vintage Cube. In normal drafts, you keep the cards you draft. God, this is really bad, actually. Let's restart this bad boy real quick. Just like hemorrhaging memory. I've got a piece of dirty fucking advice for people. I love when people always go like, they couldn't give you the cards in the Vintage Cube. They're worth so much money. It costs Wizards of the Coast the same amount to let you draft any set on Magic Online. It costs them next to $0 fucking dollars. Next to $0, because they're all just electronic bits in their servers. And their servers are very obviously powered by rodents, so it's not like those servers can possibly be expensive to maintain. You have to feed the rodents. That's fair. You do have to feed the rodents. Apparently rodents eat ram, right? What's going on, Fox Killer? Yeah, it was an interesting morning. If we run off like forest into some stuff here, we could be in a good spot. We're gonna miss on a land and die. Which, do I Blood Moon them here is the question. I think I'm not supposed to, because I don't have a forest. They have a search for tomorrow on suspend. Yeah, if they didn't have the search for tomorrow suspended, I think I'd windmill the moon there. But I think because that's on suspend, it's not worth blood mooning myself off green just yet. If they didn't have this suspended, I think you would be right to cast Blood Moon because we have so many forests in our deck. But I think with that suspended, it's right to wait. Poor Scoos. Cyclist Weltering Suns here. Sheltered Thicket, sure. Moto is coded on punch cards. Very real chance. If there's one thing Blizzard understands, it's that you make money by getting lots of people to play your game. So they do lots of things to encourage lots of people to play their game. They are very, very good at that. We have 8 forests in our deck, which I can only assume means we're going to die to this Wood Elves in 25 turns. It's the only conclusion I can draw here. I've played Eternal and it's still expensive to get into, and Eternal's gameplay just doesn't do it for me. I know that's a very subjective metric, but I tried very hard to like Eternal before I gave Blizzard piles of money. I've given Blizzard piles of money at this point. I spent, I don't know, a couple dozen hours playing Eternal. I played Eternal for like probably close to triple digit hours during their early beta, like before their first reset. And like, it just, the gameplay isn't as good as Hearthstone or Magic in my opinion. And the mulligan system is part of the gameplay, though. Like, that's an important part. Good news. Any land we draw will let us Nahiri this Primeval Titan. So we've got that going for us. I don't know what you're talking about. We ran hotter than the sun in the cube. Poll, does this deck have better or worse fixing than the cube deck we just played? Land! Land! Hey, look, a castable spell. Neat. Neat! Neat! I can tap my lands and cast that one. Yeah, like, the amount generous that Eternal is with their freebies feels like it's largely offset when you play it by the fact that, like, it uses magic deck building with 75 card decks. You need, like, 4 of the legendary cards. Like, the fact that Hearthstone restricts you to having 1 legendary in your deck goes a long way towards making a lot of the decks cheaper. Good beats, good beats. Beats by Dr. Dre here. I'm gonna attack with this to obligate a block here, I think. I guess this leaves us dead too. No, we don't die to a Bloodbraid because their Bloodbraid will enter tapped. We certainly did this to ourselves. To be fair, there's 2 fetches in our bin, so we've had like 3 lands and like 16 cards, which is still low, but not like that low. So any land lets us Nahiri their threat here. Even Bolter Helix lets us block plus kill the Titan. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. That's all I need, chat. All I need is a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. A lot of the times these decks have 2 to 3 Summoners packs and then 1 Reclamation Sage in their main deck. Fuck! We tried, chat fam. We tried. We tried. I have a Crumble to Dust. I have a Crumble to Dust. So, like, we're 2 for 2 on queuing into decks that lose to Blood Moon and losing horribly to them. So, I guess we have 2 more games here still, but it's not looking good for the Naya Moon deck, I think. So, this is actually, like, a good example, I think, of why Blood Moon isn't stellar in the current format right now. Like, people are still playing it. Like, you need to be conscious and play around it. But I think, like, even the decks Blood Moon is good against have enough play against the card that is not that amazing against them. And I think this style of deck doesn't have a high enough power level going behind it that if your Blood Moon's not KOing people, your deck's just not quite good enough. Going 3 color is super greedy. I don't even think that's the case. So, like, it's not... Like, if you think, like, we lost that last game because we're super greedy, like, we just didn't draw many lands. Like, if we would have just drawn a 4th land, any 4th land sooner, we would have been in a very reasonable spot. I think the people saying we're losing because our deck is greedy, I think that's just not accurate. I think if this was a 2-color Blood Moon deck, we'd probably... Like, Ponza's a 2-color Blood Moon deck, right? That deck's also hot garbage. That's a good draw. It's a good draw. Maybe I'm actually supposed to Scavenging Ooze there just to get my Grizzly Bear going faster. Yeah, that might be the case. We could have fetched Forest, but then I wouldn't have been able to cast Lightning Helix. Ponza's hot garbage because Modern is a format about getting on the board and playing on the board, and Ponza's a deck that crosses its fingers and hopes its opponent can't play to the board before it sets up a Blood Moon. And it hopes that their opponent can't set up a board before it Stone Rains them into oblivion. And some of the time, you're going to win your die rolls and get a little bit lucky, and you're going to do that. You're going to get paired into decks that can't get to the board before you can Stone Rain and Blood Moon them. But a lot of the decks in Modern, like Humans and like Hallowed One and Storm, these are decks that function on very little resources and get on the board very quickly, which makes your primary game plan not good against them. If you wanna talk about things that disagree with what I'm saying on stream, you need to explain yourself why you feel the way you do. You gotta say, Skred's a good Blood Moon deck because, for instance, I'm going to say Skred isn't a very good deck in my opinion because it lacks the tools to consistently interact with the faster decks in the format. While Skred is a powerful removal spell in the late game, Modern's a format that's about playing to the early game. You're going to get beat to death by 5/5s and 4/4s on a Hallowed One. You're going to get boned by Humans who are putting cards into play with their Noble Hierarchs and keeping you off your Blood Moons with your Meddling Mages. Occasionally, your Anger of the Gods are going to line up and you're going to be okay. That's why people love Modern. Sometimes your cards all line up. But I think by and large, the strategies that Skred are trying to employ aren't fantastic against a majority of the decks in Modern. This message was sponsored by CVM. And as someone who loves him some Storm Breath Dragon, I forgot to play my other Blood Moon. Forgot to play my other Blood Moon because we were talking. Probably still dead anyways, but definitely should have played my other Blood Moon. The reason why I didn't play the other Blood Moon is because I wasn't paying attention. Let's play another one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think decks like this are very good though. I think we played a big Naya deck pretty recently on stream that wasn't playing Blood Moon, which meant it was able to have a little bit more consistent resource base, and I think that deck could be like kind of okay. I think it still has some issues in the format, but it gets to play. Another thing you give up in a deck like this is because you're trying to get people with Blood Moon, you don't get to play Path to Exile because you can't be giving your opponent basics with Path while you're Blood Mooning them. I don't think that's strictly true. I actually think Damping Sphere was a big addition to decks like this specifically, because decks like this have reasonable creature removal, but they tend to struggle against the spell-based combo decks. So the big reason that decks in Legacy, why Red Stompy is an okay deck, is because Red Stompy not only leans into Blood Moon, which is a little bit better in Legacy than it is in Modern because there's less decks that play to the board in Modern. It's in Legacy, there are... What's the word I'm searching for? In Legacy, there are more decks that lose to Chalice of the Void. So, like, the Legacy decks aren't just good because of Blood Moon, they're good because of Chalice of the Void as well. And Chalice of the Void is a card that generally lacks power level in Modern because there's more diversity in converted mana costs of cards people are playing in this format. Yeah, and we don't have Soul Lands or Simian Spirit Guides. Those are a big deal. Humans is actually pretty akin to like the old school fish decks, right? Like back before fish meant merfolk, it meant like tempo creatures. I probably should have played that. Playing around anger is probably loose there. I think maybe playing around anger is fine since I'm going to get this out of anger range next turn. You cannot pay to remove decks from the queue. No, that's not a thing. You also can't pay to add 200 copies of a deck to the queue either. That's also against the rules. Goyf wouldn't die to anger. Good catch. Good catch. 2-3 with no sorcery. Chat is correct. My rules say I'm allowed to refuse any deck for any reason, which in this case, that reason can be I don't want to accept that many copies of a deck. That's why there's that asterisk there. Any deck for any reason. All right, so control. Probably want to trim the helixes, bring in the Baloths for extra threats. I guess this sideboard's like kind of hyper focused. Yeah, that's why there's any deck for any reason. Yep. Amend them and put a reference to the 18th and the cult. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. This weekend is burn weekend. And I've been promised that there will be appearances by none other Matthew Bamonte. Oh, I need to check card. I need to get over to the post office and check the P.O. box. I'll remind Christy about that. Yeah, they got a basic land so they can play around our Blood Moon. That's smart. That's smart. Sweet, sweet, sugary alcoholic beverages. Probably. Probably. I mean, getting free wins is good. So, like, adding free wins to the deck's probably not a bad idea with Nahiri and Emrakul. I don't know. I feel like Liliana doesn't fix problems that the archetype has. Like, a lot of the time, you don't care about the smaller creatures in blue-black fairies. So, like, that means you generally don't want to be, fighting over them. And to edict your opponent, you have to worry about their smaller creatures as well. Matt will be here in the evening, because he's an adult and works a real job. So he will be at his real job during the day. See how drunk you have to be to not be able to pilot burn. I've never been drunk before, so I probably won't make the first time I ever do it on stream. If I ever get drunk. Probably not. There's a link to the deck list below the stream. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck to get a link to my stream decker in chat. You can also find them on my YouTube channel. Lightning Angel, huh? Lightning Angel. We played this deck on stream before. No, Justin, you cannot pay to remove decks in the queue. You looked awfully drunk when you were best. I'm like a B+ actor, chat. I'm like a B+ actor. Alright, now Bloodbraid just has to find the path to exile that we don't play. Spell Queller your Bloodbraid Elf. That's bold. That's bold. Spell Queller your Bloodbraid Elf. That's okay. I think we're still dead, but I would like to point out how bold my opponent is. You can't play Path to Exile in your Blood Moon deck. It's not good deck building. Jeez. They have told us to quell ourselves, and we have responded accordingly. Alright, I guess I want Fiery Justice, huh? It doesn't have red mana. Why people are always so greasy. Magic 28 with the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. This is like the what's it called deck does this too. The red green Eldrazi deck. They don't play Birds of Paradise. They play Noble Hierarch, even though it's a dork that doesn't make all of their colors of mana. It just seems real greedy. So like I can't even like speculatively keep that first hand because Noble Hierarch doesn't make red. Fuck colors get exalted, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Did we 3-2 or 2-3 with Zubraz? Maybe it was 1-4. I don't remember. I know we won at least a match. Toxic Flames, I would encourage you to contact Wizard support or reach out on Twitter. Believe it or not, this Twitch chat room is not WotC support. In fact, this Twitch chat room is probably the farthest thing from an official source of WotC information that you can find in the Magic community. That's a good suggestion, Night Oblivion. Maybe. We'll take a peek at it when we come up later. Scary data and facts, yep. You need to hit Alt F4. He's dead, Jim. Did you click the I won't play Black? I turned on the standard Super League last night, saw it was a Chain Whirler mirror, then immediately turned it off. Was like, nope. Saw enough of these at the Pro Tour. Hope you were hanging on to that. I know. Did anybody see Wizards or Tolarian Community College's tweet last night? Like, how absurd that was. Like, the people, like, I understand why I don't get spoiler cards. Like, I get it. Like, let's call me polarizing or obnoxious or whatever you want to call me. But, like, the fact that some of those people that were, like, responding to they're like, those are, like, good, honest community members that, like, basically don't ever say anything out of turn. Nice Mantis Rider opponent. Oh, why does that card have haste and enters tapped? Putting haste on a card that enters tapped seems silly. Let me find his tweet. Let me find his tweet. Look at the people from the Magic community that responded to this tweet saying that they had never been given a preview card. I have to be able to look at every room in my chat because I skim all of them on occasion with some consistency because anything that happens in that chat room is my responsibility. So. Yeah, you can pay 2 life and have your land still come into play tapped. That is a legal play. Hogland, did you see the Sarkin that you were the one to write the article about? I don't know. What does the new Sarkin do? What does the new Sarkin do? All right, we're gonna steal a game here. We might steal a game. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh baby. About to get on the scoreboard. We're about to rally back to a 3-2 deck, chat. We're about to rally back to a 3-2 deck. Also, here's another piece. Here's 2 pieces of context to go with that Tolarian Community College tweet about the people that have never gotten preview cards. 1, they gave a Maz and Day 9 M19 preview cards, which apparently means that in order to get a preview card from Wizards of the Coast, we need to start making more Hearthstone content. So that's the first piece of information. If your goal is to get a preview card from Wizards of the Coast, you need to stream more Hearthstone. Number 2 is that Wizards of the Coast had where is the fucking tweet? I'm just gonna click this tweet just to share it. Now look at all those people. This is just a Thursday. Weekly MTG will have approximately 87 preview cards, give or take. And now, like, I'm sure 87's an exaggeration. I'm sure they probably just have a couple dozen cards, like at most, or a dozen. But like, do you really need however many cards they're gonna have for that thing to not give? And like, think every season about the number of spoiler cards number of cards that just don't have spoilers, where like they just like post them up on the mothership at the end of the spoiler season. Like, would it really hurt Wizards of the Coast to give like common and uncommon spoilers to like small content creators to help them increase their audiences? Like, wouldn't that be a good thing that WotC could do for the community? I think that would be a good thing WotC could do for the community. It would cost them nothing and allow them to give something to the people that give a lot to Magic. I literally said that, Digitech Wire. And if you look at that thread that Tolarian Community College posted, it's not just that those people like haven't asked for preview cards. There were people that were like, they've asked for preview cards and been ignored or told no. So like, why don't you just give one to everyone? It costs you fucking nothing. It costs you sending an email. It costs you sending a fucking email. Oh, what did you say, Justin? August 14th both marks the birth of the Enabler and the reunification rights of the cult. Be prepared. August 14th. Okay. MTG Brews with the $6 donation. Take my enlistment bonus from Space Force and put it towards Possibility Storm. 10 out of 10 will do. Thanks for the support. And for the record, I don't want a preview card for me personally. Like, I'm at a point making content where, like, the PR I would get from, or the clicks that I would get from Weta giving me personally a preview card, they're not that many in relation to the people in the community that already know me. But what Wizards should do with those preview cards is give, at the very least, the random ones that they were just going to post at the end anyways to smaller content creators that are working hard and making new stuff and trying to get out there, to help them get out there. It's just like, it's one of those things that makes me wonder, like, does WotC just not get it? Like, because it's such a simple, small thing that they could do that could have a potentially large impact on their community. So it's like, if you can't get the easy shit right, it's no surprise that you don't get the big shit right, right? That's, in my mind, that's where my mind goes. I think it's silly and it's a waste what they do. Man, are we about to get on the scoreboard again here? Are we about to be up a game? Okay, Bloodbraid of their own, yep. Scavenging Ooze, that's pretty good. I guess there's only one creature in bins for now. Justin, can you not put that as a command in the chat? I don't want people to get that confused with it might be an official Discord for the server, or for the channel. I think I'm just supposed to smush with... Am I supposed to smush with nothing here? I'm probably just not supposed to put creatures in the bin. I'm probably supposed to let Dark Confidant kill them, right? Because if I attack, they just chump with Bob. Flip a Bloodbraid. Tilt. As Bob has not been on our team chat. The double Bob is pretty bold. The double Bob. Yeah, buddy. All right. Your move. Go. They must have a bolt, right? God, come on, Bob. Work with me. Work with me, Bob. Robert, this is not good. Your end of year assessment is coming up, and you're playing for the wrong team, Robert. These Bobs have triggered like 12 times and dealt a total of 3 damage. Hey, Nassif with the host. Welcome to folks coming over from Nassif's channel. Hanging out playing some Modern this afternoon. We're currently in match 4 with this Naya Blood Moon deck. It's a little medium, kind of okay. We're 1 and 2. Yes! Yes! Fire! Fire. Making top of our deck. Making up for the fact that Bob is firmly not on our team. Caleb with the big host as well. All right, Bob. I take back all of the things I said about you, Bob. I take back all of the terrible things I have just said about you, Bob. Are they the unluckiest Jund player? They've got to be close to the most unlucky Jund player, right? I'm gonna trim some mana creatures here. This is a Fiery Justice matchup. I don't think this is a Fiery Justice matchup. This deck feels kind of mediocre, Nikolek. The mana base is a little rough with all the forests and Blood Moon. Blood Moon's not particularly great Modern right now. Blood Moon really only dunks on decks that also aren't very good. Things like blue-black fairies and green-black mid-range. Nope. I think Tracker is better than Bob and Jund, in my opinion. We played Tracker Jund on stream pretty recently. I mean, I do my best to not be unlucky. Being unlucky is just a poor decision. So we're gonna get to Helix the crap out of this tournament. Every time a Lightning Bolt or Lightning Helix kills a Tarmogoyf, an Angel gets its wings, just in case you were unaware. In case you were unaware, it's a rare occasion that should be celebrated. Bolting Goyf should be worth 2 bingo squares, right? Okay, the opponent's on the Tireless Tracker plan. Let's jam this Thalia to potentially keep them off of making an extra clue with the fetch land. And we can Ajani V next turn and take down Old Tracker Boy. August 14th marks both the birth of the Enabler and the reunification rights of the cult. You reassembled very quickly, Justin. We haven't even had the 24-hour burn stream yet, Justin. You're spiking the price, but that is true. I do hoard luck professionally. Well, this is just the easiest Blood Moon of my career, right? I think I'm gonna bin the land here. I'm gonna bin the land. Do 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 do. I think I'm gonna adjust. Ooh, Grim Lavamancer adds a wrinkle to the plan. Grim Lavamancer adds a wrinkle to the plan. I think I'm supposed to Ajani Nug Liliana here. It's a long time away. That's a long time to build anticipation, Wannabe Beetle and Justin. He prepared for the amount of... So we'll probably Ajani kill Tracker next turn. No, I think I want to take them off the Liliana to start. Yeah, the Ajani's going to gain us another point of health here. And then, like, we'll have, like, Goyf in the top of my deck versus their Grim Lavamancer here. I guess I can Helix Lavaman down here. This is a little risky if they draw a land, but, like, at the same time, if they draw a land, this can't attack through the Goyf this turn. And then, like, this can start ticking up on the tracker. They could have double bolt here. They have double bolt. We could be in trouble. Yeah, but then they get to pressure my Ajani with the Grim Lavamancer. We are undefeated we are undefeated in cube matches this year. Is colorless Eldrazi a reasonable nation list? Probably. Probably. If I need to see an exact list as always, but that deck has put up a few results. Welcome to my Baloths. So this gets Tracker out of bolt range, but it doesn't let it block the Baloths profitably. Opponent's a real trooper. 0% I'd still be playing Magic at this point. Oh no, not a lightning bolt. How can I ever win the game now? So you're obligated to trade here? Like, maybe if they had hit a land here, they could be okay. But then we drew a bolt, so they weren't even going to be okay with that. And this is, this league's actually been kind of a fun example of, like, our Blood Moon deck lost to Amulet Titan and Red-Green Valakut, to, like, land-based combo decks that, like, this card is supposed to beat up on. And we've beaten Jeskai Control and Jund, which are the fair interactive decks, which are the decks that in reality, those are the decks that Blood Moon actually punishes. So Blood Moon, by and large, punishes people trying to play fair interactive games of Magic. Ooh, look at that! The Celestial Colonnade deck. Blood Moon is a big part of why I would consider not playing the Fairies deck in Indianapolis. It's a big part of why. That is exact. Alright, Diva's great. She gets it. The people that actually play fucking Modern get it. The people that play Modern on the regular understand what these cards do. People that just, like, read the cards and don't actually play the format. And for people that didn't read Diva's message there, Blood Moon is great versus land-based combo decks as long as your deck is fast enough that you didn't need Blood Moon anyways. That is exactly the case. There's a good chance that if Blood Moon gives your deck a good matchup, your deck probably had a good matchup anyways. WotC coverage, so that's great. Yep. The number of, every time someone on WotC coverage has talked about, like, I like watching large Modern tournaments, but I just have to fucking turn it off every time one of the people that they have casting opens their mouth and talks about how Blood Moon does honest things in the format. Like, Blood Moon's a good card. It's very powerful. That's why it sees play. It does nothing fair and does nothing honest. It hoses blue-white control, yep. Green-black, blue-white control, blue-black fairies. These are decks that have a hard time beating Blood Moon. Yes, correct, Basic. I agree with your assessment. The greedy mana bases in Modern have their own punishment built in by dealing tons of damage to you. It's really a great balancing mechanic. Good news, our deck has infinite basic lands against the Path Field of Rune deck. I would be pretty surprised if WotC gives the commentator specific things to say about the format. You should never, this is just like good life advice, never assume malice for anything that is adequately explained by stupidity. I think the people on WotC coverage that talk about Blood Moon being this fair card, I think they just don't play much Modern and they're just parroting what they've heard other people say. So I don't think you should think they're being malicious or WotC's like put words in their mouth. Like, that's just, you know, you hear lots of people say that all the time. And I'm not going to name specific names because I don't want people to like harass people for the silly idea that they parrot. But I think, again, I wouldn't assume that they're being malicious when in reality, I thought they were going to cast a Jace here and I was going to make fun of Jace being a shitty Magic card, but that's a good 4-mana Planeswalker. That one needs to die quickly. Can't have that one sticking around. Back for more memes and timeouts, ready for the 24-hour Goblet Guide Lightning Bolt stream. Thanks for the 4-month, Pastor. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. They probably have Gideons and Tefris in their deck, and they're ready to plow. All right, I'm gonna mute myself momentarily and eat this Quaker granola bar. This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by Quaker, but Quaker, if you're out there, it certainly could be. Let's talk. Let's talk. As someone who's played some Jeskai Ascendancy combo recently, I would love Ponder and Preordain. Give me the cantrips. Give me the cantrips. Give me the cantrips. Give me the cantrips. Or Bane Ancient Stirrings, one of the two. One of those two things needs to happen. Give me my fucking blue cantrips, or ban Preordain. Or ban Ancient Stirrings, whatever the green one is. So I feel like we talked about this deck a little bit mid-league, but let's do a wrap-up here. So I think if you want to play a bigger Naya deck, you're better served playing something closer to what we played last time. I think these forests are based on what people said at the start of the year. I think 8 forests is hot nonsense. I think Blood Moon just honestly isn't that good. I think Damping Sphere kind of does for this style of archetype what it always kind of hoped Blood Moon would do, which is not only does it give you legs against the big mana decks, but it also gives you legs against things like Storm. So I think I would not recommend playing a Blood Moon based Naya deck like this if you were dead set on playing a Naya mid-range deck, and I think I would look back at the other Naya mid-range deck that we played that wasn't playing Blood Moon and probably play something closer to that, probably with 4 Damping Spheres in the sideboard. All right, what are we doing next here? What are we doing next?